3 in a row for the Boston Celtics. They hold on barely to beat the Sixers. Jaylen Brown was awesome. Hugo Gonzalez risked his life. It's all right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Beantown, be ever ready. It's the C's. Who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT, Karalis. We kept the madness every game, every practice. Primetime Depp and D White on the sideline. Raining J's, how it started, raising business, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast. Right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every day. Your team is the Boston Celtics. I talk about them every Monday through Friday. Bonus podcasts when they play in the weekend like this win in Philadelphia. So subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Watch the show on YouTube. It's free. It's available everywhere. Get into the comment section. Share your thoughts with me, John Karalis, beat writer for Boston Sports Journal, covering the team for 20 years now. And I've written a couple of books about them as well. Big win here, third win in a row. Later on, we'll get into some of the negatives, the slumps that are still happening. We'll get into some of the individual performances like Jaylen Brown, Hugo Gonzalez, Xavier Tillman, Anfernee Simons. But let's just start at the top. 3 wins in a row. This is huge. We talked about this on the show yesterday with Tom Westerholm. This is a real tone setter for the beginning of the season. And the way I wrote about it on Boston Sports Journal was like, this is like flying a small plane through a storm. You're constantly like, are we going forward here, or are we going to have to land this thing on the highway? The Celtics, as they navigate the early part of the season, the early wins and losses are going to kind of dictate how they proceed through the season. And right now it's like, hey, let's just fly through this thing. Let's go, because it's not much of a storm at all. They're 3-3. They had the 3-game losing streak. They answered with a 3-game winning streak. They are looking good. I thought the first 20 minutes of this game was basically perfect basketball. Now, of course, it's a 48-minute game, and that's where the problem came in. But for now, celebrating the fact that they've won 3 in a row, that they were able to keep Tyrese Maxey in check, that they were able to kind of survive the Joel Embiid minutes where he was scoring pretty well, that they didn't get the VJ Edgecombe kind of like dominant performance, and they were able to do the things when they needed to do them. Now they're 3-3. I still don't have high hopes against the Houston Rockets, but hey, who knows? You know, that they, as they say, that's why they play the games. I think the Rockets are too big, and Steven Adams is too much on the offensive rebounds, on the offensive boards. So we'll see how that goes. But even if they lose that game, they're 3-4. The next 4 games after that, as we've talked about, you got Utah, Washington, Orlando twice. All of those are winnable games. Even if you say tough to win in Orlando twice, 3-1 is reasonable. After a 3-4 start, 6-5 after 11 games, that's really great. That's really great. And so even if they lose, I don't have a schedule. Even if they lose that 12th game, which I think is a tough one. Let me get this up real quick. Even if they do that, there's, let's see here. They have Washington, Orlando. Oh, Philly again as the 12th game. So, okay, win or lose that, it doesn't matter. But let's just for the sake of argument, just chalk it up as a loss and say they're 500. Now you've got 70 games left, where if you play 2, 3, 4 games above 500, you got yourself a chance to get yourself to the playoffs. So getting through this initial stretch, getting through that second Orlando game, you come out of that 6-5, even if you come out 5-6, that Philly game, if you come out of that at a 500 clip or better, then you really feel good about pushing forward and this team being a playoff team. I said from the beginning of the season, 44 wins in the 6th seed is reasonable for this team. And that, if they can get through this stretch, again, my assumption is lose to Houston, beat Utah, Washington, Orlando one of those times, and then the Philly game is a toss-up because they've both of the games against Philly have been toss-ups. So let's just flip a coin on that one. I don't care. Their Celtics, if that goes how I think it could go, they're looking forward. You say, okay, we're a team that has made a lot of progress, that has shown real good stretches of high quality basketball, that even if they go up against some of the best teams in the league and lose, they have shown that they're good enough to compete against all of those teams on any given night, that the effort is there, that they can go 10, 11, 12 deep, and any combination of those guys can situationally give you a chance to win a game, that against the bad teams, they should beat those teams. And the middle of the road teams can be, some nights good, some nights bad. It might just depend on how well you're shooting. All of that adds up to a chance to win 44, 45 more games. That this is a team that can be a 6th seed, a 5th seed. Obviously it depends on a lot of other teams, but getting this third win here in the first 7 games is just huge, because, where I was saying 0-7 is not on, out of the question, 1-6, 2-5. Like, I thought 2-5 would be, all right, it's okay. 3-6 is, I'm sorry. Yeah. 3-4, you go the other way, John. 3-4 is great. 3-4 would be, I would sign me up for that. 4-3 would be amazing. So, you can't just chalk that up necessarily, but I'm just making certain assumptions here. This win, holding on for this win, sets them up, sets the tone for the rest of the season. Like I said, the first 20 minutes of this game, first quarter, and up until 3.5 minutes to go in the second quarter, Celtics were playing absolutely gorgeous. I mean, basketball that, if last year's team played that style of basketball at that level, that team would have won a championship going away. Obviously, providing that they were healthy. But that team, the way they played, most of the first half, minus the last 3.5 minutes or so, that was bottle that up. The effort, the energy, the offensive rebounding, the forcing turnovers, getting out there, running, hitting shots, Jaylen Brown, superstar level basketball. That whole first quarter was gorgeous. The second quarter, up until the late Sixers run over the final 3.5 minutes, that was exactly how the Celtics want to play. That's everything that they promised. The pace, the tempo, the execution, the ball movement, the shooting, everything was there. You can nitpick little things here and there with some of the fouls but that was just gorgeous basketball. And frankly, kind of impressive that the Celtics already are able to put together that long of a stretch of continuous great basketball. They're not ready yet to make that a full game. They're not ready yet clearly they didn't make it a full half, but that was some of the best basketball I've seen this team play. And I'm talking about like over the course of the past few years. Like this has been like that first half. Most of that first half was great. Now, the last 3.5 minutes happened, and ultimately the Celtics did give up all 24 points of that lead, but they did never trail. They never trailed. That was a horribly structured sentence. They did never trail. That is just, wow. I can't believe that sentence came out of my mouth, but that's okay. I'm going to press forward. They never did trail in this game, and that's important. And it's one of those things where somehow we've seen this type of thing before, where a team makes its run, you get all the way down and tie, but you can't break through. It felt like if the Sixers had taken a lead, then it would have snowballed, but they never could. So important answer in the third quarter to get that to get that lead back. After it was tied, they went on a run to get it back up to 11 or 12. And then in the fourth quarter, another answer when the Sixers were making a run. The Celtics hit shots. Jaylen, X, those guys hit shots to hold off the Sixers. So they did what they had to do. But there were late game issues. There was execution stuff that really, really hurt them. I'll talk about that and the individual stuff when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by Robinhood. Your ambition just met its match. With Robinhood, you play for the win, not just on game day, but every day. Locking in on every opening, beating your PR, then beating it again. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood Legends advanced tools, or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. Get started at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. Today's show is also brought to you by DoorDash. We are in the beginning of an NBA season, but there's already been a bunch of 50-point games, and DoorDash has found a perfect way to keep you in your bag all season long. DoorDash, the official on-demand delivery platform of the NBA, is celebrating with something called the bag drop. So first of all, when an NBA player scores 50 in a game, like it has happened in a few times, DoorDash drops 50% off your order with Dash Pass the next day. And then you're automatically entered for a chance to win the ultimate fan bag. So that's player-inspired drip, exclusive gear, stuff you actually want. And with DoorDash, it's not just food. You can get anything: snacks, drinks, headphones, ice, socks for some reason. Sure, you get it all delivered. So go check out DoorDash. When someone drops 50, use the code NBA50 the next day. You get 50% off with DoorDash with Dash Pass, plus your shot at the bag drop. It's available to Dash Pass members only, 50% off, up to $10 the next day after a 50-point game with the promo code NBA50. Terms apply. No purchase necessary. Ends April 13th. Open to U.S. residents 21 or older. Visit DoorDashInYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash, in your bag all season long. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On NBA, Locked On NBA Game Night. They're both in the same feed. Game Night handles the all of the games every night. I do the show on Wednesdays with Jake Madison. So go check that out. Then the afternoon show, 5 days a week, covering all the big stories. So the Celtics were okay. They were okay in the middle parts. They had their late game issues. They went from this amazing, incredible basketball to like, oh, all of a sudden they gave up a run. They lost their poise. Jaylen Brown after the game talked about it. He's like, I lost my poise. I started getting too into it with the refs. And that happens sometimes, right? The emotions get the best of you. And when that happens, especially when it happens to your best player, there's, things start to go wrong. You start to turn your head and talk to the refs instead of getting back. You lose your focus. And obviously you don't want that to happen, but it's going to happen sometimes. And the hope is that you pull out of that stuff quickly. Now, the Celtics never really pulled out of it in the same way. Like they never got back to that first 20 minutes of basketball. But I will say that I am impressed by the fact that they never let it kill them. They let it hurt them. They almost let it kill them. But again, they did never trail, and they answered every time. When it got tied, when it got down to 3, they answered. The only time they didn't really answer was at the very, very end. They made a lot of mistakes. Jaylen had a bunch of turnovers that really, they started blitzing Jaylen. They started really aggressively double teaming and kind of gave the Celtics a taste of their own medicine and forced the turnovers and got out into transition. And the Sixers made the Celtics pay. Celtics lost their poise there. They got a little sped up. And then they stopped making shots. They had some trouble with some of the offense. It kind of slowed down. Got a little just. There were a couple of stretches where the Celtics got a few offensive rebounds that they just couldn't cash in. And on the one hand, they're making the push. So you get the offensive rebounds, but on the other hand, it's like, come on, guys, let's. There was one who shot the air ball from the corner. I forget who it was. And then Hugo gets the rebound and he shoots an air ball from the left block. And you're like, okay, this is not going well. But the Celtics were shooting so good early in the game that there had to be a little bit of leveling off. But the late game stuff is something that they can improve, obviously. But on the plus side, you get the win. Most important thing is you find a way to get the win. Now you go to the film session and you say, okay, we can figure out, okay, this is how we end up causing a lot of or giving up a lot of turnovers. These are shots that we are taking that maybe we shouldn't take. There are a couple of shots like Derrick White continues to press just a little bit. Some of the offensive rebounds, I really think that the Celtics coaching, they are trying, they want the guys to get that first, like if you got a good look right away, just take it. Because with the pressure, the full court pressure and the way Philly and teams are doubling and being aggressive, you're probably not going to get a lot better looks than some of these early offense looks that the Celtics get. So they're just firing them. And so I just think that's a coaching thing, and I do understand the philosophy behind that. But the Celtics do have to clean some things up, and they do, I think, have to make sure that they're hunting for the best shot possible later in these games or when they're trying to hold off a run. It's about poise and making baskets to stop a run where your lead goes from 24 down to 13 or 11. Like that's. The Sixers are good enough, obviously, where they're going to make a run, but the execution has to be better. The poise has to be better. And I think whenever Jaylen is turning and barking at the refs, there's that's kind of like a sign of like, okay, got to get your head back in the game because Jaylen's been playing so great. He's been playing all NBA basketball. But on this team, the margin for error is just so small that, okay, you have an emotional reaction, fine, totally fine. However, you got to get it back. You got to find a way to get that back quickly. Individually, like I just said, Jaylen, 32 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. The 5 turnovers aren't great, but just Jaylen's on a heater to start this. Now, he's not going to keep up 50% shooting from 3. That's going to go away, but where does it settle? And if it settles at 38 to 40% this season, then we're looking at all NBA Jaylen. It's only 5 games, so you can't sit there and say Jaylen is definitely an all NBA player. But the 5 games that he's played, aside from maybe the Knicks game, these have been all NBA level games. And the Knicks game wasn't that bad, but it wasn't great. But the rest of these games have been all NBA level games. He's playing great basketball, generally speaking. Hugo Gonzalez, the block attempt, forget who was it on Grimes, maybe? It was a breakaway. And it looked like a very clean, like easy, like, all right, just pull up, let him dunk it. It's, he's too far gone. But Hugo was like, nope, I'm chasing this guy down. I'm going after him. And we talk about, the Aaron Nesmith, oh my God, I think he's going to die if he keeps playing like this. That was that kind of play. He went flying into the stanchion. I thought he was really hurt. And it's the type of play you can get really hurt on. Like, I think one of the lessons, like I first of all, I appreciate that play. I appreciate that play so much. That's hustle and desire and all of that stuff. I think as his career goes on and you learn like, buddy, there's 82 of these things. Like, yes, that's awesome. And you're earning your spot. But, year 2, year 3, year 4, when he's a regular starter or whatever it is, like he might just be like, you know what, I'm pulling back on this. you can't play your whole career making those kinds of plays. Sometimes you got to make a business decision because, like I said, 82 games plus playoffs, right? You play maybe 100 games, throwing your body around like that is awesome. Like, we all love it, but oh my God, you can't do that all the time, buddy. But he played great. The steal and the dunk, like he had a couple of steals. There's one sequence, gets a basket on one end, comes down, plays great defense, forces a steal. Like he plays with that energy. So I think when you talk about him and like, look, Xavier Tillman as well, the way the Celtics depth is playing right now, it's incredibly impressive that so far these guys have been able to maintain this mental edge. I'll talk about that when I come back, because I don't know if this can last all season, but the way they're getting this done is very, very unique. And whether it's sustainable might be the key to this entire season. That's coming up next. Today's show is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus. It's powered by Peloton IQ, which is their most advanced equipment yet. It's designed to give you real-time guidance, endless ways to move. So whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors, Peloton, built for breakthroughs, will help you plan, stay motivated, and reach peak performance. The Peloton IQ system is amazing. It offers real-time strength coaches, tracks your reps, suggests the right weights, and corrects your form. That is so important. I'm telling you, as a person who has worked out my whole life playing basketball, you get into your head, I have to lift the heaviest weight possible, and that messes with your form. With this thing suggesting the right weights and correcting your form, every rep is safer, it's smarter, and that is how you get the gains. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. NBA season is here. No better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game, you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can combine your live bets into the same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. Every game is exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving you, a new customer, $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head on over to FanDuel.com, sign up, use the tools that they have right at sign up, right when you log in. It'll ask you to set your budget, set it at whatever you can afford to lose. Then FanDuel will help you gamble responsibly so you don't go overboard in case you hit a cold streak. So go check it out at FanDuel.com, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen. We'll qualify it as a lesson. Either way, make Locked On Fantasy Basketball your second listen. That's definitely a lesson, because Josh Lloyd's going to help you win your league. Guys to add, guys to drop, guys to trade for, guys to trade away, all of that stuff. You're going to win your league if you listen to Locked On Fantasy Basketball, free and available everywhere you found this podcast. So I think, honestly, the most impressive thing with this group might just be that Xavier Tillman can go from not playing to coming in and playing 13 minutes and getting clutched play down the stretch. You know, these guys are sporadic, but you got like Neemias Queta comes in, plays a really, really good first half. He was part of that whole thing. He played really good defense on Joel Embiid. Then in the second half, Joel kind of faced up a little bit more and was going at Queta. And it looked like Queta was like afraid to get busted for a foul, right? Joel kind of throws that ball out there. He's grifting for fouls, and it just feels like Queta was like, I'm not falling for this. I'm kind of staying back. But that made him a little tentative. So Joe went with a different direction down the stretch and went with Tillman. And the last couple of possessions, he was great. Tillman obviously hits a big three-pointer. The possession where Tyrese Maxey It gets the ball, head of steam, driving down, pick and roll with Joel Embiid, kind of like a brush screen, and Xavier switches onto Maxey, rides him to the right, and forces the miss. And I think that's where Josh Minot went in and grabbed a huge rebound. So X comes in and kind of like a relief pitcher, right? So Nimi gives you the 20 minutes and it gets a quality start. I thought he played generally well. He just had that, like, he's got a little tentative defending Embiid. And so Joe said, okay, that's fine. We're going to go with X because X is strong enough. Embiid's not backing anybody down. If Embiid's going to be the face-up guy and you're afraid, then we need, X, who's a little bit more like mobile and nimble. And so they went with that. And sometimes that's the difference. Like Hugo Gonzalez goes from starting to off the bench to not playing to playing, and he comes in and performs. Josh Minot gets a start and goes from like a DNP against the Knicks to suddenly starting 3 games in a row to not playing in certain stretches and then playing in certain stretches. Luka Garza, all of these guys, Anfernee Simons, like everybody is getting their opportunities in different pockets of this game. And for now, everybody is contributing. Now, Chris Boucher has a couple of DNPs. Jordan Walsh has a few DNPs. There's going to be a point here, and maybe Boucher is being saved for the Rockets game because of the back-to-back, that in the Rockets game, maybe Boucher goes in and is the hero of the fourth quarter if the Celtics win. And I can see a world where Boucher comes in and does that. The whole thing that I'm talking about here is all of these guys, Hugo, Minot, Boucher, Tillman, Garza, the guys who are like, hey, I'm kind of fighting for my spot here. They're doing a great job of staying engaged. And when they're called on, they come in and play. They come in and contribute and make an impact. There's no like, oh God, I didn't play for a while and now you're going to put me in here. Like, no, they're ready. These guys prepare. This is a really incredible mindset to have. This is all mental game. So shout out to those guys. Anfernee Simons, I mentioned him a little bit in that group, but also a little bit not. But he was a plus 23, 19 points off the bench. Aggressive. He said after the game, they've been begging me to be more aggressive. This is the most aggressive that I've been. Good. That's great. You need a scorer like that off the bench. He was the second leading scorer in this game for Boston. So, but even that, like whatever they ask him to do, like go out there and do it. You're playing a new role. Go out there and do it to the best of your ability. So I am impressed. Now, of course, it's October. Well, November now, but it's October basketball. Everybody's kind of like anxious. Let's see it in November. Let's see it in December and January. Like as the season rolls on, can you still keep that mentality, that edge? So I'm very impressed with that. Now, a couple of slumps, obviously, Payton, Pritchard, Derrick White still slumping. Pritchard was 1 of 9 from 3. White was 2 of 7. The crappy part for White, he had a couple of catch and shoots early, and I was like, okay, this could be the breakout game. And then he just struggled. The couple of offensive rebounds, it was the fourth quarter, where he got a good look. Offensive rebound goes right out to him. Another wide open good look. And he missed both. Those would have been huge shots. So I do think that some of the Celtics kind of struggles in the fourth quarter where they let other teams kind of start to come back. Some of that is Derrick just not hitting shots. Some of it is Payton not hitting shots. Again, they hit 14 of 45, but Payton and Derrick, they could have hit easily two more apiece, 4 more of that. You go 18 of 45. Well, it's a little bit more acceptable, and it holds off the Sixers a lot more easily. So I still think those guys will be fine. Pritchard was great inside the 3-point line. He really set a good tone for this game. getting into the paint, little turnaround jumpers. That was really, really good. And Derrick White, now 2 of 7 overall, would be 4 of 9 from 2. So he still did other things. He was a team worst minus 15, which is rare. It's very rare. I'm looking forward to when Derrick can get a little bit more of a rhythm and feel more comfortable. I hope it happens soon, but kind of sucks that he's going through this. But that's, I don't know what else to say about that. Good win. We'll just leave it at that. Did I miss anybody? Luka Garza had some pretty nice moments in this game. Like I said, Hugo, Baylor Scheinman didn't really play much. That's it. That's everybody. So I'll be back tomorrow. The Houston game. Look, I'm not going to lie. That game probably won't go well. I look at the size that the Rockets have and their defensive ability, and I think, boy, this could be a tough one. And if it is, so be it. It's okay. What I want to see is the Celtics compete, go out there, play their best, and I'm very curious to see what they do with Steven Adams and how they identify him on offensive rebounds. If they can control that, they have a chance to win this game. Even though I don't expect them to, it's not out of the question. Nothing's out of the question in the NBA. So let's see how they do. I will be here after the game, 8:00 start at the Garden. I'll be there. So make sure that you are subscribed. If you're not subscribed already, get in there, subscribe. Wherever you listen, it's all free. It's available everywhere. I go after games all the time. So I'm in the middle of a 13 podcasts in a row stretch. So I'm here for you as often as I can be. Bonus content here on the weekends when they play. So subscribe, get into the comments section. I would love it if you really shared the podcast and told everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.